why this thing is important. So this is important to facilitate the per vaginal delivery in case of livestock. So what we are dealing today is only for livestock. Okay, we already dealt something in during this pet dystocia and all. Okay, so we'll discuss livestock, within livestock, cattle and buffalo, right? So before going for any maneuvering or any managemental practice or even touching the animal which is thought to be a dystocia case, you have to understand 2-3 very important points. So when you are operating, when you are doing something with the fetus, genital tract and everything, so gentleness, you should be very very gentle. It's not that it's a heavy animal and you are using force and you are not taking care of anything. So be gentle while you approach this type of dystocia. Otherwise, a rough approach will lead to trauma to the dam. I mean this mother and as well as to the newborn calf. Okay. So second thing, these are fundamental. You have to understand. You have to remember while in every case. Okay. So caudal epidural anesthesia, especially in case of bovines, because we don't prefer general anesthesia. So epidural anesthesia or some sedatives can be given. Okay, so why these are important, especially epidural anesthesia? It manages the pain as well as it makes the animal, operative in the sense. So desensitization means it will. I'll discuss what is the advantage of epidural anesthesia in next coming class, in next coming slides. But right now you need to understand pain reduction as well as making the animal in position to avoid further straining. And then I told you sedatives again. In case of bovines we use sedative. So what is the main motto of using sedatives? So because it makes the animal calm. Okay, especially in case of mare, it is very very essential to make it calm, because more excitability means the this animal is very prone to ataxia. Okay, so that's how you have to manage the pain. You have to manage the temperament of the animal before going for any this obstetrical procedure. Okay, now third is you need not to forget the most essential part is postpartum management. Postpartum management, the most effective thing is analgesia. You have to reduce the pain because you did something. You applied Traxan, you put your hand inside the vagina, and there must be, you was gentle, no doubt. You performed your all the things very gently. But again, friction will be there. You use a lot of lubricant, you use your hand gently, but there will be some damage. Depends upon how hard your approach was. So smaller damage to high level damage will occur definitely. So you have to provide analgesia to again to reduce the pain after after you deliver the fetus normally. Then you have to give broad spectrum antibiotics. Suppose you kept your hand, the condition was unhygienic, so you have to provide broad spectrum antibiotic and other so many drugs you can use. You can give multivitamins for for health reason. You can give so many things, but you should remember to provide analgesic. You have to provide NSAIDs after it. Okay, so now once you're finished, you have to recheck. You have to check whether any laceration is there, whether any bleeding is there inside the genital tract, because once you left the animal and the animal is in a standing position, if suppose there is bleeding, so you will not be in position to address it because you won't be knowing it. Because of gravity, the blood will be going inside the uterus. Okay, so until unless it is full of blood, you won't be appreciate the bleeding. So that's how you have to put your hand. You have to thoroughly check that laceration or any wound or any bleeding is not there. Okay. And if light bleeding is there, you have to use coagulants. Or if suppose bleeding, more bleeding is there, then you can use some local coagulants. Okay, so we in some cases we use alum for that purpose, and it works very very nicely. Okay, so with this note, I will start this lecture. So, what are the broad classification? What is the broad classification of obstetrical maneuvers? Okay, so these are called mutation as well. So, what are these? First and most fundamental thing is retropulsion. Sometimes it is called repulsion as well. So, retropulsion or repulsion means pushing the fetus in a cranial direction. Cranial direction means cranial to animal. Okay, or you can say cranial to the genital tract, because most cranial part of the genital tract is, what is that? The ovaries, right? And caudal means when it comes towards you. So you are pushing the fetus away from you, okay, towards the animal. You can be make it very simple. So towards the animal, okay, into the vagina and into this pelvic canal. Okay, so you are putting the fetus back to the uterus. Why you are doing that? Because as I told you, it is fundamental. You have to, for any maneuvering, for any management, you want to make correction, you want to correct the fetal position or anything, you have to have some space. So until unless you have space, you won't be able to rectify the defect. So for generating the space, you have to push the fetus away from you. You have to push the fetus towards its original position, means towards the uterus. Okay, so and almost every dystocia correction need this retropulsion first of all. Okay, so now how you will use it? So how you will use it? So you will use it by your hand. Okay, if it is up to the limit of your hand, or your power, so you can use fist. Okay, and you have to put your fist at the bulk of the fetus, whatever the bulk portion, especially chest region or shoulder region. You can use both of your hand, you can use single hand. Okay, if it suppose you are not in position to push the fetus because the animal is straining, and if it is not, then the fetus bulk is much more. Okay, so you can use crutch. So we have Cohen's crutch repeller. Okay, so Cohen's crutch repeller means it attaches to the chest region. Then you can apply pressure. 2 or 3 people can apply, because it's a rod-like thing and it comes out of the vulva. Then 2 or 3 people can push it. So if suppose the doctor is very lean and he is not able to provide much power, thrust, so he or she can use this crutch. Okay. Now the most important point is, again it is underlined that you need not to repulse, or you need not to put your force in a haphazard manner, right? You have to make use of your common sense. Then you have to push the fetus when the animal is not straining. So every time when animal strains, so the abdominal or uterine contraction occurs in a bout. Means there will be one contraction, then relaxation, then again contraction. So what I mean to say, so when animal is straining, so before it strain for the next time, so in between, when the animal is relaxant, a little bit relaxed, so that time you have to put pressure. Okay, so it's not like animal is straining back outside, I'm putting pressure for towards you, and then you are putting pressure. So you may be a very healthy person, but you cannot compete with the force of a cattle or buffalo ranging 400-500 kg. Okay, so you have to use your brain. You have to put pressure only when the animal is relaxed. Okay, so that's why the point is highlighted. Okay, Now, as I told you, the animal strains. So what more you can do? Suppose the animal is straining very powerfully. So you can use caudal epidural anesthesia. Okay, so it prevents the abdominal straining. Okay, I mean what it does, it desensitizes the vulva, vagina, and the muscles associated to that. Okay, I mean near about pelvic muscles, it will desensitize. So it has large, so many uh, advantages. But right now the thing is you have to prevent straining. But the problem is the epidural anesthesia do not prevent myometrial contractions, right? So in order to suppose the uterus is contracting very fast, okay, so again for that this epidural anesthesia will not work. For that you have to use some tocolytic agents like clenbuterol. Okay. Now, first is repulsion, then now the second is extension. Extension means it defines that the extension of flexed joint, okay, when postural defects are present. So normally during the posturation, the joints should be extended. Okay, the limbs should be extended. But suppose if it is flexed, now it will cause dystocia. So the thing is, you have to extend these limbs, okay, joints. So how to do that means you have to apply the tangential force, okay, and before that you have to hold the very fundamental is that if you want to extend the limb, one joint suppose, so you have to put pressure over the joint above to it. You're getting my point? So suppose you want to extend your wrist, okay, you apply on yourself. So suppose your wrist is flexed and you want to extend it, okay, so how you will do that? You will put pressure backward, I mean you will provide retropulsive force to the joint next to it, okay. So which one is next to it means you will use retropulsion on the first, you will use retropulsion on the this elbow, right? Then only it will go back and then you will be having some space, then you will use tangential force, okay, and you will extend the limb in a arc like fashion, okay. But again you have to be very cautious that you are not injuring the dams birth canal. So that's how always and always you have to cup, means you have to protect the uh, you know uh, these you have to protect the extremities, what it is called cupping, okay. So you have to cup the hoof and then you have to make a arc like correction, okay. Now the third mutation or obstetrical maneuver is traction. Traction means the application of force, okay, to the presenting part of the fetus. So why? So in order to supplement or in some cases to replace the maternal forces. Suppose the presentation position or posture is right only, okay, but because of uterine inertia, okay, the animal is not putting pressure. So or it is putting pressure, but the labor pain is not, the force is not that much helpful. So now again in that case also, when the animal is straining, suppose the animal is straining and the straining force is not, I mean, up to the mark, so what you will do, you will supplement the force, means when the animal is straining, the same time you also have to provide traction. You have to pull the fetus, okay, whatever the part you are holding, you have to pull the fetal part at the time when the animal is also straining, okay. So it is something like 1 + 1 is greater than 2, okay. So animal wants to expel the fetus, and you also want to expel the fetus, you are putting pressure towards you. So the fundamental difference between retropulsion and traction is that in retropulsion you are putting the pressure away from you. You are you know uh, positioning the fetus inside the uterus rather than taking it out. Okay. In case of traction, you are taking out the fetus, right? In case of retropulsion, what you are doing, you are putting pressure, okay, between the two bouts of contraction. Here, in case of traction, you are putting pressure when there is contraction. Okay, when the animal is contracting, I mean putting straining, taking strain. Now you are applying force as well. So now it is 1 plus 1 is greater than 2. Okay. Now, what you say that in case of cattle, it is observed that a maximum of 4 people are required. Maximum of 4 people. More than 4 people is not at all necessary. If suppose the condition arises, then straight away go for cesarean section. Okay. Look, the same thing what I was telling you. The effective traction is that when you are coordinating the supplementing force. Okay, the animal is turning, at the same time you are also pulling out it. Okay. Now, because I told you 4 people are enough, not more than 4. Even in villages, people used to call several people, and sometimes I had seen that they tied the limbs of fetus with a tractor trolley, and they started pulling it. Pulling it out. So what will happen if you use excessive force? Okay, so there are chances that costochondral junction of the rib may get fractured. Okay, okay, there may be chance that diaphragm will rupture. Okay, right, and then limbs may get dearticulated or get fractured. Okay, so this is the disadvantage of excessive traction. At the same time, excessive traction, it will also harm the maternal environment, means birth canal of the animal. Okay. Look, in case of mare, the requirement of person is a bit less. So here 2 or 3 person is sufficient, not more than 2 or 3. Okay. In case of Eve and doe, now you can use fixed plastic ones or small snares. Nylon snare you can use. You can use cotton snare, means rope. Okay, but it should be fine thin. It should not be as thick as we use in case of cattle and buffalo, right? So it should be very gentle and thin, because these are very small animals, so we cannot maneuver much. Now coming to the sow, so mostly we avoid using snare or rope or any other instrument. We generally use hand. So traction by hand is the most suitable traction for sow. Okay. Now, so up to now, what were the maneuvers? The first retropulsion, okay, extension, then traction. Now there is one more, that is rotation. Okay, so what is rotation? So it is the alteration of position of fetus by moving it around its longitudinal axis. Okay, so ventral to dorsal. Suppose the longitudinal axis is changed, so now we have to correct it. So you have to move the fetus along its longitudinal axis, because the area is more in case of horses, so it is mostly more required in case of horses as well. Okay, so now if suppose in case of large animals, suppose cattle, suppose if it happened, so what you will do, in order to do rotation, you have to first cross the limbs. Okay, and then you have to rotate the calf. First you cross the limbs and then rotate the calf. and at the same time head also should be rotated. So one person, suppose if it is inside the vagina, one person should put the hand over the head region, and one or two person can cross the limb and then rotate. So simultaneously the limb should be rotated, at the same time head also should be rotated. Otherwise, if it remain unrotated, there are chances that the fetus may die out of neck injury. Okay, you can use some instrument like Kramer's torsion fork, okay, or Cohen's scratch repeller. You can use both, or you can use one by one. Okay, so if you repeat the process, means if you keep on crossing and trying, so by several attempts, the it is observed that you can rotate the fetus up to 180 degree. So it is a big rotation, but you have to use it several times. You have to put effort for several times. Now again, one more important maneuver is version. So what is version? So version is making the presentation longitudinal by altering the its transverse or vertical presentation. So because transverse or vertical presentations are not physiological. Okay, so if the fetus is in transverse position or vertical presentation, now you are putting it back to the longitudinal presentation. So now this is called version. Okay, look, before operating any case, before operating any such case, you have to use, I told you, we can use epidural anesthesia or sedatives. Okay, so we'll see what are the sedatives, what are the epidural anesthetic drugs, how to use it. Okay, and what is the advantage and disadvantage of it. So first we'll start with sedation. So why sedatives? Sedatives means to make the animal calm. That is the best use of it. Animal will be calm. So what drugs we can use? We can use aceclomazine. Okay, why aceclomazine is good? Because it do not interfere with the cardiovascular function of the fetus. Okay, so fetal cardiovascular function will not be affected by use of aceclomazine, but problem is that it is not much effective in case of mare. So mostly sedatives we use in case of mare, because as I told you, they are very high in temperament. So once they are out of their temperament, ataxia is the outcome. Okay, so aceclomazine you can use, but problem is it is not much effective. So further we used ditomidine and xylazine combination. So it is very good. Okay, it causes very good sedative effects on mare, but again the problem is you have to compromise with the fetus. Okay, fetal cardiovascular function will be affected. Okay, so you may have a adverse outcome, but the thing is the mare will be all right. Okay, so now the second problem, apart from this fetal cardiovascular function, it also reduces the placental blood flow. Okay, so again the at last point the animal, the fetus may starve. Okay, because the placental supply is the only way of getting nutrition. Okay, so now the third drug is xylazine alone. Okay, in second case we used along with the ditomidine. Now we are using xylazine alone. So alone xylazine is very useful in case of bovines, okay, cattle and buffalo. Okay, we use regularly to make the animal calm. Okay, and it is again in case of mare we can use as well, but we can use when the fetus is dead. Suppose we diagnose that fetus is dead, so now we can use xylazine, because the the mechanism, I mean the time of action of xylazine is very quick. Okay, so it acts very quickly. So that's how the removal will be fast. So because the fetus is anyhow dead, okay, we need not to bother about the cardiovascular function or any other thing, or reduce placental blood flow. So we have to quickly take it out. So in that way xylazine is good. Okay. So but one disadvantage is that it causes contraction of the uterus, and therefore it may happen that uterus may tightly adhere the fetus. fetus के ऊपर टाइटली वो चिपक जाएगा पूरा. सो अब आपके मैनिपुलेशन या मैन्यूवर्स उसको सीधा करना है, सपोज postural defect is there or anything, so that will be again compromised. So as you know, the antidote is clenbuterol. You can use that. Okay. Now coming to the epidural anesthesia. Okay.
Recording stopped.
Injection of local anesthetic like 2% lignocaine in epidural space. What it will cause? It will desensitize the anus area, perianal area. Okay, vulva, vagina. So it will almost desensitize the area in which you are going to operate. Okay, or do your maneuver. Okay, because animal is straining properly, so it will abolish the straining as well. Okay, especially abdominal straining, abdominal contraction, that is the straining, it will be somehow minimized by use of epidural anesthesia. What will happen if you minimize the abdominal contraction or straining? So now you can manipulate you can do maneuvers, or you can do correction or anything using putting your hand per vaginally very calmly. Okay, so you will not be having any problem like animal is straining every time when you are putting your hand inside the vagina. Okay, now you can repel the fetus very easily. Okay, you need not to wait for 2 bouts, you need not to wait for the relaxation time. Every time the animal will be relaxed only. Okay, now you can put lubricants inside. When you want to put lubrication, you can put lubricants inside the uterus. Okay, then you can the most annoying thing is fecal contamination. So mostly animal keeps on defecating while you are putting your hand inside the vagina. The animal defecates over your hand. Okay, and somehow you use any hygienic practice, but somehow if animal is keep on defecating over your hand, so it is nearly impossible to be very hygienic. So your hand will definitely carry some dung particle also. Okay, so it because perianal area is desensitized, so now animal is not defecating more often. So now the fecal contamination can be avoided. And then second, the best thing is pain reduction. So the animal, because you are operating at the pervaginal side. Okay, so the pain is the most important factor, and that also because desensitized, so the animal will not feel pain. Okay, even you can use this epidural anesthesia not only in dystocia cases. You can use in suppose prolapse of uterus is there, vagina cervicovaginal prolapse is there, or rectal prolapse is there, or bladder prolapse is there. You can use it in any such maneuvers. Okay, so suppose the animal is heifer, that the mother is heifer and still in growing stage. Now the space of vaginal space is very less. So for this we have to use episiotomy, means we are cutting the vulval lips in order to broaden the space. So for that also this epidural anesthesia works very nicely, because the area will be desensitized. So when you are cutting, you are putting suture, everything will be very, very smoothly. The animal will not realize much that something is going on. Okay. So what is the site of epidural anesthesia in case of cattle? So the site is first intercoccygeal space. Okay. First intercoccygeal space means C1, between C1 and C2. Okay. Coccygia 1 and coccygia 2. Right. You can even, the second site is sacrococcygeal, means between sacrum and C1. But why we call it most preferred is first coccygeal other than the sacrococcygeal. We can use sacrococcygeal as well, but there is two differences. First of all, the space between sacrum and C1 is less than the C1 and C2. That is one thing. Then second is, in case of older cows, the space sometimes becomes ossified, so your needle will not move further. Okay, so that's why the C between C1 and C2 is most preferred. Okay, so how you will identify that this is the proper space? So what you will do, आपने हैंड पंप चलाया होगा घर में या गांव में कहीं पहले, अगर किसी ने चलाया हो, so the same way you have to pump the tail, ऊपर नीचे tail को करना है. So you will see a very deep fossa like area. Okay, a gap like area will be there, so that is the obvious area. So already you know that C1 and between C1 and C2, but within C1 and C2 the most depressed part will be taken as the site for injection. So how you will use it, what is the dose, so that you have to remember. Okay, so you will use 18 or 20 gauge needle, and how much long it should be? It should be maximum of 5 centimeter, not more than that. So you can use 2.5 to 5 centimeter, depends on, suppose the animal is, the cow is older, so you can use a longer one. I mean, but it should not exceed 5 centimeter. Okay, so that should be inserted right in the middle of the space. Right angles means 90 angles. Okay, so how much total dose you will use? 5 to 7 ml. Okay, maximum 5, and then you can use 1 or 2 ml, depends upon, if suppose the effect is not much, so you can add 0.5 ml, 0.5 ml or like that, but it should not exceed more than 7 ml. Okay, what will happen if it exceeds more than 7 ml? Okay, so a larger area of lumbosacral plexus will be affected. Okay, and then the cow will show recumbency. The cow will be in recumbent stage. So once you did your maneuver, the animal is normal. Okay, the dystocia is relieved, even though the animal will not stand up. Okay, so it will be in total recumbency, which is not good. Okay, so what dose rate is that? 1 ml for 100 kg body weight, 2% lignocaine. So suppose the animal is 300 kg, you can use 3 ml, like that you can use. Okay, and it will affect within 30 to 60 minutes.